couple of months ago, I got a call from Switzerland, of all places.
Talk to me.
Grüezi, Dean. We have an idea. Social justice.
Planetary boundaries. Climate change. Equity is important.
What about the whales?
They want me to make a movie about sustainable organizations in Pittsburgh. The research group that contacted me is based out of the University of Basel, and they're looking at Rust Belt cities to find examples of resilient, sustainable communities or organizations. Their end goal is to put together a toolkit of best practices so that people looking to start sustainable projects have something to work with. They're looking for proof of concepts that help organizations transition towards a more sustainable future. They call it proTract. I'm not an expert on sustainability, and this movie is not intended to qualify as actual research. It's just a look at a few sustainable orgs in Pittsburgh doing great work.
Hi, I'm Todd Torra, and I'm here on our Howard Products unit.
How would you describe Construction Junction?
It's a place to get a lot of weird, cool stuff, a lot of old stuff, a lot of stuff that maybe people have forgotten about as you're going through housing remodeling and stuff like that. There's building materials, there's actual furniture, there's like screws and door handles, just kind of cool. But yeah, I found a lot of weird, cool stuff here.
Chaos, but a good kind of chaos.
Great place to get both like furniture and actually building materials.
Oh, I think if you're looking for furniture, household appliance supplies, this is where you ought to go.
I always describe Construction Junction as a thrift store version of Home Depot, but that doesn't really do them justice. Construction Junction is a nonprofit that was founded in 1999, and their mission is to promote conservation through the reuse of building materials. But isn't reuse bad for a capitalist economy? Isn't our entire system propped up on the exponentially increasing demand of new stuff? Why, yes, Dean, that is correct. And that's exactly why reuse is an excellent form of class.
Sticking it to the man.
Construction Junction has been one of my absolute favorite places to come and wander for many years now. And something I've always wondered is, where does it all come from? Where does all of this stuff come from?
Just kind of knock them back. And that board's ready to go.
So what are you guys trying to salvage right now?
This flooring, this tongue and groove flooring. And if you see, there's no nails. This is what they call blind nail. They nailed it at an angle, except for this piece. That was a finished piece. So they drove a nail in the face. But then all the rest of them will have a nail driven at an angle in the tongue. You could use it for anything. You could reuse it as flooring. It's yellow pine. You could use it as paneling. You could put a bead edge on it and use it for like wainscoting. I would add that another reason why we're here saving this stuff is you can't get material like this today. The tightness of the grain on some of these boards, just the overall look of it. It's hard to see now under all this dirt, but when it's cleaned up, it's going to be beautiful. And it's just old growth lumber that is gone pretty much. People would say, well, you can go to Home Depot and buy boards. Well, yeah, they're going to be giant rings and everything. It's not going to be nearly as tight and as neat as this.
You didn't explain that right. You're supposed to say it's like fine wine.
Exactly.
The older it gets, the better it is.
There you go. James got it.
A couple days later, I went back to Construction Junction, and sure enough, there it was. Wood flooring, tongue and groove, pine lot, 125 square feet. I decided to write a note and explain that I was trying to document the process of the flooring being salvaged out in Dawson, all the way to being repurposed in a new project. I tucked the note under one of the ratchet straps, and all that was left to do was to hope that whoever purchases the lot gives me a call.
One click, one shift. I think we got what we want.
Well, Kranix is different than most bike shops because it is much more community-centric. It has a long precedent, 40, 50 years of being a place where you can, if you don't have any money, they'll find ways to make sure you at least have a bike that you can ride around in. And that sense of community is something that is quite different than your regular, professional bike shop where they're there to sell you stuff and then you have their pros that fix it. But here it's, they're working with you and they're making you feel as though this is a place that you can come, even if you're not working on bikes.
In 1973, Scientific America published a study on the efficiency of different animals when traveling a certain distance. How much energy does it take to get from here to here? The condor was the most efficient animal, using the least amount of calories to travel the distance. Humans didn't do so well. However, when the scientists compared a human on a bicycle to the other animals, we blew everyone out of the water. Beyond being an efficient and sustainable way to travel, riding a bicycle is a great source of joy. When I drive my car, I become an idiot. I become the worst version of myself. But when I choose to bike, my anxiety melts away, and I arrive at my destination feeling on top of the world. All bike shops are inherently sustainable because they put people on bikes, but I chose to look at Kranix for the things that separate it from a traditional bike shop.
My name is Jerry Kranix. I'm the former owner of Kranix Bike Shop. I come in now and just sort of hang out and try to find something to do for a couple hours most days. One of the things that makes it different is we allow people to come in to work on their bikes for free. We encourage them to learn how to take care of their bikes, and to empower someone to do that is life-changing, especially for the girls who come in.
Isn't that bad for business or counterintuitive for someone to come in and say, hey, I need you to fix a flat, and instead you teach them to do that?
Well, you would think so, but the loyalty you get out of customers who have learned something that enhanced their riding experience, they're your customers for life.
It's good to be able to fix your own stuff because sometimes there won't be someone there to do it for you. It also, you can fix things on your own and you get this really great sense of accomplishment, and then it's truly yours, that no one else can take that from you. It's like your bike, you were able to build it yourself, you're able to fix it yourself, and you can do that anywhere else if you have the right tools. And it's a very freeing experience.
How you doing, bro? How you doing?
Yes. Still playing? Oh yeah.
Actually did a podcast on race relations in the neighborhood from back in the day compared to race relations now. And race relations back in the day compared to now, they have improved drastically because there was times when you couldn't go down below the tracks, you know what I mean, for a black person. And there was times when even this area right here was considered downtown Hazelwood, and down in this area right here, there's a bar down there called the Cat's Bar. It wasn't a black bar. You had black establishments and you had white establishments. And then you had some establishments such as Elizabeth Pharmacy and D'Imperio's Market and, other establishments, but them two stood out because they lasted the longest, that dealt with the whole community, and that's why they lasted the longest. That's why Elizabeth Pharmacy is still there today, because of the loyalty that the people had when we was going through bad race relations in the neighborhood. You feel me? A lot of things is changing, but they ain't changing them better for the grassroots people. Not basically, that's just that in a nutshell. Like, we know some of the plans that they do have, but like all of the people say, where are we included in these plans? Where are we included in these plans? You can't make a plan to say, okay, we're gonna make a space shuttle, and don't none of us really want to go on a space shuttle. You know what I mean? We just want normal stuff, good parks, good places to shop, good places to eat. Safe neighborhood. That's what we want. You know what I mean?
I used to live down here in the Run, which is located right next to Hazelwood. And when I lived here, I was always so impressed by the activism that I saw in Hazelwood and the surrounding neighborhoods. So when I chose to include Hazelwood in this video about sustainability, I wasn't thinking of gas emissions and recycling. I was thinking about a community's ability to organize and to fight for what they believe is best for themselves.
In 2018, was the grant applied for and received on the basis of the Mount Oakland Connector? Yes or no?
Here's what I would say. Does anybody here watch Star Wars?
Hi, I'm Tiffany, Hazelwood resident also, and I just, I have a lot of comments. I'm going to try to keep it brief. I'm happy to have a safer way to take a child to Shenley Park that's calmer, that doesn't have any cars around. So, I thank you for that. I'm looking forward to that being built. That being said, I would just like to encourage you, if you're not, to have more conversations with city planning and the URA about development in our area. Because we have, not only, this concern about Sylvan Avenue, but also Gladstone.
In a community that has been disinvested in for so long, that has lacked the investment of other neighborhoods, that, just has not had the economic power. Once the steel mills left, people left, our schools shut down. We don't have a public school here in Hazelwood. There's no grocery store in Hazelwood. There's no movie theater in Hazelwood. So you need economic development here. We need economic development. We need more people. We're not going to get a grocery store unless there's a larger population to support one and enough people, with money to support that. So we do need economic development. The question is, can you have economic development and still keep people in the neighborhood? That's really the fear with gentrification, is that the gentry is an outside group that comes in and displaces others. And you want economic development where the people that are here can actually benefit from it and stay here and grow and see their wealth increase. And so what Hazelwood Initiative is doing is that we are making sure to maintain affordable housing. So we are purchasing housing in the neighborhood. We have We're in the process of acquiring 63 units from one of the largest landlords here. So that will be maintained as affordable housing. Many of our clients have actually gotten mortgages that are lower than the rents that they're currently paying. So it's a way to help them build intergenerational wealth and not be at the whims of the market and the rental market, where they own that home and they can stay in that home. And that's our goal, is to get more families into home ownership and to help them do that.
Okay, so what goes in my toolkit? What are my takeaways from studying Construction Junction, Cranix, and Hazelwood? Number 1, create a project that is easily accessible by poor and marginalized people. Cranix won't turn anyone away because they can't afford their services. If you need help, you will find it. Number 2, expect this to take a long time. Hazelwood residents have been fighting for their community for decades and decades. Number 3, don't go against the grain. Construction Junction's biggest fundraising event is a beer drinking event. People like beer. Again, I'm not a researcher or an expert, but I think these are decent points to consider if you're looking to start a sustainable movement. So, what do you guys think?
Prost.
Prost.
Oh, and somebody did get back to me about the floorboards. A guy named Nathan J. was using them in some renovations he was doing, and he's also planning to use them in a cabin that he's building for his family.